Hey
y'all, welcome to Benchwarmers, a Woso podcast, episode 6. Oh my god,
I know.
how much football has been on this
I was
week?
just about to say, there have been so much football
Are
this
we
week.
are we footballed out yet?
No,
never
never.
footballed out. Okay, where do we start?
I think we go immediately into my team.
Okay, straight away.
And just do the post-mortem, get it over and done with.
So are we doing the game that's ruined our friendship, or are we
Yeah.
doing the game this morning?
The Lyon game.
Arsenal came up against Lyon, a huge marquee
A
game.
rematch
Yeah.
of the semi-final.
Yeah, the remontada,
Yep.
all the memories coming back of which leg, the first or the second?
Well, I mean, if we go by the scoreline, then it's the first.
Yeah,
but
oh my
7 minutes
days.
in, I'm going, this is it.
beautiful.
We're going again. We're cooking
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, wow. What a game. So 2-1 Lyon. Obviously early on in the Champions League. Let's go result,
Yeah.
and then how you're feeling, and then we can break into the game.
I think result-wise, I am obviously disappointed, but I'm not surprised. And furthermore, I am a bit relieved that it wasn't more than 2-1. I think it very much could have been more than 2-1.
Very true.
But I'm really happy that we stuck in there to the nth degree, that we didn't necessarily get a win, but it's 2-1. We take that.
And there are moments to take from the game
Yeah.
that ensure that there is something to learn from it. There are games where you play the bigger teams, where we'll talk about one very soon, where there is not much to learn from it. But let's go into the game. And there are so many moments to talk about in this first half. I feel like the first half was 90 minutes.
I felt like the first half, if you were to not watch the 90 minutes of the game, the first half was a really good encapsulation of what this game was. At the start, we very much dominated. I felt like we got on the front foot, similar to how we played against City in the first few minutes, except this time we actually capitalized.
Yeah.
I think, the goal that we scored, I felt like was scrappy in its build-up. Beth Mead is not necessarily the most technically gifted footballer in the world.
But she just does it.
She's able to find those pockets.
Yeah.
And it's that goal, I feel like, is what Renee's style has been. It's picking out and kind of teasing out the defense, and then being able to get a result in some way that will lead to a dangerous position for our strikers.
Her angles and the way she dribbles through traffic, it looks so robotic.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's actually hard to get the ball off Beth Mead. Like, I think we take for granted her ability to protect the ball and then be able to feed the ball into passages that, sadly, there's no other Arsenal player who can feed the ball like that, unless you're going to play Mariona further forward, which you can't at the moment because you're relying heavily so much on her for the transition between your defense and attack. She is the feeder. I just think Beth Mead found Russo, and Russo was that's her bread and butter, and that was kind of the precedent for how I thought the game would travel. Maybe end up 2-3-0.
No, I think we scored early, and I was slightly concerned simply on the fact that I was watching the game in the first few minutes, and I saw a team that was very, very eager, kind of like we had a sugar hit. We went like really fast, really early, and then you just saw Lyon just kind of switch on from the goal kick.
They did wake up. They definitely did
wake up.
wake up.
And we fell asleep, basically.
Yeah, the press, usually it's not that easy. This was hard to watch. This is where European champion starts getting memed a little bit, because European champions don't play like this.
No, and this is an uncoachable. These are two uncoachable errors in my books. You can't coach this out of players. This is purely technical, and you are apparently supposed to be the best in Europe. I'm telling you, there are no top teams in Europe that make the same mistakes that we did playing out from the back.
100%. And it's funny because I see Arsenal do it so many times to other weaker teams, and it looked like Lyon and City did very similar things in which they deliberately gave Arsenal possession of the ball in order to pick out the less technical on-the-ball players and make them fight for the ball. So the Katie Reeds, who are younger, less experienced on the ball, Van Domselaar, even Catley with her back off the half turn. These are players that don't want to be in these positions. And especially in this game, De Mornay and Katoto just force you into playing the ball to players who don't want the ball where you are.
But even so, we then play it to someone like Mariona, and we move on to the second goal. Because I think the first goal, it's
just a blunder.
It's a blunder.
There's not much. It's not going to happen again.
No, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. And you'd hope that Renee fixes the urgency for that. But the second goal is more endemic of Arsenal's issues now.
This to me just shows why I think our players look tired. They look generally fatigued.
Game week 6, guys.
This is something I've picked out from Mariona pretty much the whole season.
Yeah.
She looks fatigued. Doesn't look out of position, but she looks more nervous, and I think I've seen her in that kind of 8-6 when we're in possession trying to build up.
Never in my life would I put her down for a mistake like that.
And not only a mistake like that, but a mistake where Lindsay Heaps is the one who is pressing
Botting
you.
her, yeah.
And that is a player that equally I don't think is the fastest.
No.
And I think that they're of equal strength. Yeah. But that was simply an error where she didn't scan. She wasn't looking behind her. She wasn't opening up her body. And it was the decision-making from the goal kick to Mariona that just, it was obvious, and Lyon knew exactly how to exploit us.
Yeah, it felt like they were 2-3 steps ahead of you. The barrage of attacks they had, the amount of saves that Van Domselaar made.
And she was fantastic. After those 2 blunders, I think people will...
Well, you can't really... I wouldn't blame... I definitely the first goal. The second goal, obviously, that's her pass. That's her setup.
And it was a good goal by Demornay, to be fair.
But again, not every player is capitalising on that second goal the way Demornay does. And, I mean, that's why you get a Ballon nomination in that team. She's kind of the jewel in the crown of that Lyon attack, I think. Like, if they're going to win anything big this year, she's going to be at the centre of it 100%. I think there is a lot to be desired in the middle third for Arsenal. The final third hurts at the moment, the way in which you're striking the ball from the wingers. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on Kelly, Smith, Ford, even that midfield rotation, Taylor Hines coming in as well. I actually thought she had some really good moments as well.
I think one of the things that this game showed is our depth in terms of just the rotation we had. We had 4 changes. I think when you're bringing in players like Kelly, like Mead, you're expecting one side to be able to be a bit more mature on the ball, do the things that Beth Mead does, which is set up play, able to kind of link up with midfield a bit more. And then from Kelly, I'm expecting a bit more individualism, a bit more spark on the flank. I think we got neither. I genuinely think that Kelly had just a ghost session. She was playing hide and seek in the whole game.
There were moments where she just pops up, and then another 20 minutes where she's just pressing without intention, no pairing, and I think lack of chemistry.
I do think this is a Renee problem insofar as I appreciate the depth, but I don't appreciate how we're going about utilizing our players.
Absolutely.
We are over-rotating. We are underutilizing. And I think that the main problem here is that we're playing an idealistic style of football with players who need to be playing a style of football that suits them. I understand that there's a broader system and a broader thing that we want to do. We want to create an environment of possession, fluid football. I get that. I love that. But right now, we need results.
You need to win games.
And we need to use the players that we have and that we bought. We spent $1 million on Olivia Smith, and we're making her play backwards.
Yeah, she's doing all your pressing and tracking, and the beauty of her game, what we know her to be. Your midfield isn't giving that cover, and I think that's where I think you have to realize the personnel you have for 90 minutes and where their best pocket of play is. And I think as we move on to the next game, we're going to talk about how Barcelona utilize their personnel in a way that works for their players. But players like Kelly and Mead, I feel like are second half players at this point. I don't see them starting games, impacting from the get-go and setting the tone early. They're the finishers. That you want your best 11 on at the end of a game, because your second best 11 is holding out against other teams, and that's when you want the firepower to wake up. You're going backwards in gears as the game moves on, and you're slowing down, and it's hard to watch as a team that I respect. And I see so much more than what I've seen in the last 3 weeks with a draw against Villa, winless in 3. Obviously, that will probably likely change this week in the WSL.
I think when we talk about City and the Arsenal game, I think we can talk more about system, because I actually think that in this game, we were pretty much allowed to play a bit more within ourselves, because I don't think Lyon really just shifted out of gear. I think that they played incredibly easy, just manageable football. I think that they wanted the result. They got the result.
It wasn't really Geralda's ball.
No,
it was more pragmatic, drive, direct, and take advantage of the inexperience in the pockets on the flanks. Yeah, a tough game, but also, again, early days, early doors. Don't have to raise any alarm bells about
I'm
Renee
not
or
concerned
anything.
about the Champions League campaign.
Yeah.
I think I'm just more concerned about the trajectory of this Arsenal team right now as a whole.
I think there just needs to be a little bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah.
And speaking...
When's the Conti Cup coming?
Yeah.
When is it coming?
Yeah, your round's coming in. But speaking of a confidence boost,
Yeah.
we're going to move on to the next game, which you could argue is game of the whole week.
I think game of the season so far.
Game of the season
just
so
in
far.
terms of what it proved.
What it means, what it proves, how far this team are from the rest of the competition, despite the financial gutting of this squad.
And just how, like, clownish all these people in the media going, it's Barcelona, it's not going to be their year. It's finally someone, look at what's happening with their squad.
North America's better than Europe. No team on earth. You could put 11 players from 11 continents that don't exist.
Yep.
And they won't go up against this team. So obviously we're talking about Barcelona's absolute demolition job on Bayern Munich. 7-1. 7-1. They showed every reason why they're the favourites. They went full strength on the team sheet. You looked at that team sheet. It was like the Avengers on the field, seeing everyone there. 21 shots, 12 on target, 7 goals.
Incredible.
We could end it there, but I want to go into this. So the third minute. So the game was basically done in 3 minutes, in my opinion, because they got the right side going early, and we've been talking about the right side all year because I think they've been like overutilizing that right side. But again, why change something that ain't broken when you've got Ona, Caro, and Aitana? Ariana Caruso, who actually has had a really good week for Bayern, has a really good interception on Aitana and Caro, gives it to Clara. Clara Bull tries to give Stanway the counter, misses the pass, and plays the perfect assist to La Reina. Alexia takes the ball at the edge of the box, and you see this from Pina, you see this from Aitana, you see this from Patry, the finesse on her left
brilliance,
foot. Yeah, the way she just, it wasn't a smacker, it wasn't power, it was just placement into the top left corner. Marmutovic dives so well to make this ball look so good.
I love when a goalkeeper does this. It just makes the goal look so much better.
Either the rule for goalies, the goalies union should
Either
be,
you do
don't dive or dive like that.
Either you do a Friesberger or you do what Marmutovic is.
Exactly. But they meant business. It was 3 minutes in, and all you could think was, holy crap.
I really like how you mentioned the first goal, but I think the second goal for me is actually my favourite.
The second goal is mental.
Technically, yes, I love La Reina's goal.
Yeah.
But the second goal for me just proved why this team is just leagues better. And it starts from the middle.
Yeah.
It is a complete breakdown on every single line for Bayern.
Yeah.
They're ball watching, they're pressing with multiple numbers, leaving space in behind.
And it wasn't bad pressing. I actually was watching this game. It wasn't bad pressing. It's just the speed of the passes that Barcelona are making, the angles at which they receive the ball.
Exactly, it's an off the ball movement.
Oh my God, it's absolutely sublime, and every player can do it. It doesn't. There is so many guns in this team. So
even Salma.
Even Salma. But Salma, we'll get to Salma in a bit because I think she's actually starting to be an important cog in this system. But the short corner. So the short corner came into play huge for Barca this whole game. They had a few chances where Caro, Aitana, and Ona finally got found out, so they started moving to the left. But then they got the short corner off an Aitana shot that got saved. It was a really good save in the bottom right corner. The short corner starts with Caro, gives it to Mapi. Mapi gets this, obviously her left foot is just demon time crossing.
And then my favorite defender, ever.
Paredes, Irina heads this ball like, honestly, like a gazelle. Like I don't know if it's a leap. It's more like
it's a beautiful placement.
It's a prance. Yeah, it's the neck muscle to be able to head the ball.
Well, she's done it about 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's clockwork.
The centre back pop.
Yeah, so she heads the ball. It goes over Marmutovic, whacks the bar. It bounces down, and then you think Eriksen's gonna take it and just clear it away, but Ewa contort. I don't know if it's a bicycle. I don't know if it's a scissor.
Sure.
She contorts her body in a way that I don't actually understand, and she's managed to meg Eriksen in the process and score the rebound. The ability to make that look so easy is honestly, she's the most complete striker I've seen in like half a decade. Like, I think obviously we can talk about Hegerberg's like Ballon run, but this is a striker who's scoring basically guaranteed goal every game. This is a goal a game or more, two score involvements a game. 12 minutes in, they're 2-0 up. It's just insane the way they were moving from 17 to 20. They were doing these passes. Esme was playing in Payor to Salma to Aitana, the dribbles. Patry had that long shot. It's just the movements, the actual combinations they were playing at was just absolutely jaw-dropping. You're watching Bayern look like an amateur side.
Well, they look like basically like when you have a practice drill and you're told not to press. Just ghost.
It's crazy.
Just, they're moving, following the ball as it's already being played, basically.
It's genuinely chess. It's genuinely chess. The pieces are just moving one at a time. Ona takes a goalkeeper clearance to Alexia. Alexia drills a pass. So this is 26 minutes in. They're already... Alexia drills this pass, by the way, through two Bayern players to Aitana, who takes it on a quarter turn of another player. I think it was Caruso. She skips past her, gives it back to Lexi back to Esme, and Esme's at the edge of the box because again they were
needs fullbacks they
were providing so much attacking security that. What eventually happens is that Barcelona utilize Esme in this left forward pocket where she comes in. Esme just dribbles past, is a left back who dribbles past both Bayern centre halves and then smashes the net in half. They're 3-0 up in 26 minutes. There is no explanation for how to stop their run when they're in the transition of attack. And I think obviously it's early on, but it was 26 minutes in and you kind of just thought, they could set up shop. They could sub off a few players if they want. They don't need to have everyone on. It's
similar to what they kind of do in Liga FR, right? So they get to a reasonably good, comfortable lead around halftime, and then around the 60th minute, they start just taking players off the rest.
Bringing the youngsters on, seeing what they can do. But in this game,
I think
they didn't.
I think this was a statement for the Champions League. I think that they wanted to show we can score, a bucket load of goals and have our players on and show the class that we have.
Over 90 minutes.
Yeah, and then that's what you see, Alexi and Aitana, Akaro getting just more minutes than they usually would because I think that this is a statement result.
100%. I want to give Bayern a little bit of props for mounting the fight. So after 30 minutes, they kind of just...
I thought on either end of the side of the half, that's when they played their best football.
Yeah, so that 30 to 45, they end up scoring, and again, this is what happens when Esme goes too far forward. She has to track back. Caruso plays a really nice ball to Ket. Ket destroys Esme, plays the ball into Clara, who finishes a great shot bottom left. So we got 3-1. They had another set piece to make it 3-2. Makes you question whether if they had Vanessa Gilles on, or as in this game at all, whether obviously 7 is hard to argue with, but that goal would have made it 3-2. That header from Eriksson, I just think Gilles scores that. No questions asked. And then Patry, I don't know what happened to Patry from 40 to 90, but she just switched on. The amount of interceptions, recoveries, and tackles she was making was crazy.
Well, before the game, the Bayern coach said...
I did see that.
He said... If it weren't for Aitana and Alexia, Patry would be a multi-Ballon d'Or winner.
And I don't disagree
either. I think she should probably win a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, so it's the argument of the role that she plays. She actually probably has the technical brilliance of the other two.
I agree.
There is an argument to say it, but when you need someone at the base of midfield, you just have them, right? And between her, Aitana, and then Salma and Esme, they started using that left side from 40 minutes on. I don't know how Salma scores that goal. It was this weird slice. It's so weird when they're playing all this beautiful build-up play and then you just watch Salma try and kick a ball.
I think, well, that's the thing, because it's like you have the beauty around kind of the final end product that is Salma that, like, okay, it's not as beautiful as the others.
No.
But it'll get you a result.
Gets the result.
Right?
And she has the ability to just get her name on the score sheet nearly every game. Her output is immense, and they're not even utilizing her for what she's actually best at, which is feeding the ball ahead of her, which she will get moments for when they're not playing a bank of 4 and a bank of 2 defensive midfielders in Caruso and Stanway. But it was, again, more murdering and massacring in the second half.
I think I talked about this last pod or the pod before, they're using the league as pretty much a tester or an experiment for what
springboard.
Yeah, and I think one of the things with Salma particularly, they played her in a pseudo left back position in the league. Yeah. And I think what they want is for her to get on the ball more, to get more comfortable on the ball early. I think she does grow into games, but I think what we saw in the game against Bayern was when they had to switch on that left-hand side, they weren't forcing the play. It was playing to her feet as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely immense how the combinations of attack, the recipes that they have set up, whether it's a set piece. Anyone wants to watch one of the most beautiful pieces of football this whole week. In the 54th minute of this game, Patry does this back heel to Caro on the wing, and it's just like Patry is a central defensive midfielder who's holding up play on the right wing, flicking the ball back to Caro, who gives it to Pio. Pio misses that near post strike, but it's just they play with so much comfort and confidence. Bayern did have an early goal ruled offside in that second half, which could have made it 4-2, but it was all gone once the 55th minute came. Pina comes on, and Pina does what Pina does best, which is be, again, the nominee for the best sub of the decade. Yeah. She comes on and she starts pressing like a crazy person.
I know, all that energy she was like a popcorn rocket.
Yeah,
it was
just
insane.
Flying around. Esme wins this clearance from a header. She heads it to Alexia, who off the header heads it to Ella, and then Ella scores. Oh no, actually, before she scores, she drops Pedersen. Yep. Pedersen gets dropped. Like it's like they're just going for highlight reels. Like it's like I was watching like this montage of the best ever goals of a season in one game.
Well, it reminded me of like when you're watching a movie and you can so obviously see it's scripted, all the movement. And
when you're watching even like a soccer movie.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
She's the Man or a Bend
It looks like
Bend
It Like Beckham.
Yeah, Bend It Like Beckham, but it's Bend It Like bloody Ella. It's crazy. And then they did another corner set piece, a bit of luck because the ball bounces off Stanway.
Who had a shocking game.
The goal is, she just got overworked by arguably, I'd say, the greatest midfield three that we're ever gonna see. That's what I have here, by the way, in my prep doc. I have to tell my kids about like watching this game. Like watching this team is just like
it's generational.
It's genuinely a privilege to watch the way they do this. And then Kika comes on, Vicky comes on for the later points of this game.
Vicky.
And Vicky Lopez does the most insane thing. And again, this is the 87th minute. It's 5-1. They have no reason.
They don't need to.
They don't need all they could just pass the ball about, knock it about for 8-9 minutes, end this game comfortable. Yeah. No, they said, I am here for blood. Yeah. I'm here for Brazil, Germany, right? So Patry gets another interception, plays it to Vicky. Vicky takes it from her own box to the other box, keeps her feet despite a tackle from Vigos. So they had to bring on Vigos Dottir because Pedersen and Eriksson were having such a rough time.
And it's bad when they have two centre-backs, basically. Like, they're on the attack and they have two centre-backs behind the ball.
Yeah, so it's 2v1. She keeps her feet. She plays it to Pina. Pina's on that corner, like that left side that corner, left channel. She and then Ket gives her the separation. Yeah. Rule 1, Claudia Pina, don't give her space on that left channel because she'll open up that right foot, and that's exactly what she did. That was 6-1, and then Vicky on the right finds Kika. Sarah Geordie comes on at this point. Sarah Geordie had a good little pocket
her
of
league minutes.
Exactly. We're going to talk about those youngsters a bit more in the league game, but they're just going after goals. Yeah. So 6-1. Arena Paredes takes that long shot, and who's the first to react? Esme. The left back is the first player to recover the ball, feeds it back to Pina. This fast move, classic Pina goal as well. Usually that's that link up with Lexi, but 7-1.
Do we talk about Brutes and kind of the reaction post game? Because I think she was more the standout if it weren't for Alexia.
Yeah, 100%. So both of them got what? 1 goal, 2 assists.
1 goal, 2 assists for each.
Yeah, but
Esme got Alexia got man of the match. Yes. But Esme got a lot of the plaudits afterwards.
Rightfully so.
I think this is a very interesting facade that we're playing right now with Esme and these players. We're watching them a bit more. I don't actually necessarily think Esme's had a good start of the season. I think this was a breakout game for her.
Yeah.
I think that for this year, I think I saw a lot of people online, a lot of Barca fans, complain that she was subbed in the Champions League final and could have made a difference. I disagree wholeheartedly. You're not taking off Rolfo for Esme boots.
No.
But I think that this was a game that she was afforded a lot of space, a lot of time. She's not a left back in the traditional sense.
No.
So you're looking for those attacking movements, and she did them, I think, near perfect.
Yeah. So it's for me, when you're looking at a player like Esme, it's got to be about the mentality.
Yeah,
it's got to be knowing when, and Romeo is a huge part of this, knowing when it's comfortable for her to break the line of her left back position, because she is actually a good one-on-one defender, as much as we can clown her a lot. And like a lot of the goals that they cop are from that left side. But the reality is, her mentality and decision making to know when to find that channel. There are so many moments this year. I think she's completed the woodwork challenge in the first 5 weeks. She has hit all the posts, but she does create. It's different to Ona's creation, obviously, because Ona loves to hug that channel and then do that little dinky cross across the body.
Well, she's just a more mature player.
She's just a more traditional right back, what we're used to, up and down. Whereas Esme, it's more the overwhelming nature of Barca is predicated on her being that like inverted fullback, as we like to call it these days. I think Esme has a lot to prove with Rolfo gone. Yeah. I think there is a little bit of a stick between her teeth to be like, if we're gonna do it this year, I'm gonna be a huge part of it. I'm gonna be first choice. There's not gonna be a question about anyone taking my position. And when we're in the league, when we're in the Champions League semi-final, a league game, I'm coming off as well. I'm not playing this game. I'm coming off as well because I'm one of the top dogs. Yeah. And I think that for I don't know how old she is, like 23, not even.
Quite young.
Yeah, she's definitely got room to grow into this position and be ultimately a Barca legend. I think she has the capacity.
Okay, a bit far there, Ben. A bit far. Not even La Masia.
No. But if she plays left back for the next 10 years for Barcelona, I
think that she moves on from Barcelona. I do, because I think that her physicality lends her actually to a WSL club.
That's true. I could see her there, but I just think a lot of players just don't like to leave a successful project like that. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, call Alexia and Aitana boring. I dare you. Remember next time when we eventually meet them, just let them know that.
I have Mariona in a Champions League, so I think I'm okay.
Congratulations. I have Leia who went back. Done with Barcelona for now. We're going to do Chelsea, Twente.
Just quick hot takes on these ones?
Yeah, just we're going to go through the other games.
The games are good. It's just we have a lot of content.
Exactly, 100%. So I think Chelsea, Twente.
Shock result of the round.
Crazy. Definitely the upset of the round. Twente holding Chelsea to a 1-1 draw.
God, I'm happy.
I am so happy. I'm happy for Jill Roord. I'm happy for Van Ginkel.
I'm just happy for the Netherlands.
I'm happy for
the whole of the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm just happy for every part of England that isn't.
Oh my God! And it's a reality check for Chelsea. Yeah, it's a reality check for Chelsea. I think. I think a lot of the time, some of the things that undo Chelsea is this chauvinism that they have, this belief that they can go in and walk a team just because they're Chelsea and just because they can stamp their authority on a team. There were rotations in this team. Chelsea is a team that I think a lot of people would say, oh, I don't know their best starting 11. You know, they have such depth that it's hard. We're world-class players. Look, there is a starting 11 for Chelsea, and that was not their starting 11.
No, they thought they could get away with it.
Yeah, and they couldn't. There was just real immaturity in that team. There was a lack of efficiency, technical ability. I think
lack of goals. A lack of goals. They don't have finishers. No. And this is the thing that I'm guilty of as well. At the start of the year, I said this is the team that's going to win the Champions League because the squad depth. I just say roster because what's
roster?
Yeah, because O'Hara keeps saying roster. I just keep saying
Callie,
it. It's so
we're
funny.
coming for your guts.
Yeah, 100. We're coming for your pod. But their squad depth is crazy, right? And on paper, the amount of goals is there. It's just the finishers are not, right? So relying on Captain and Alyssa Thompson and any sort of volume of goals of overwhelming play that comes from the left side of the team. So Baltimore, these are players
they played Guru today, and I'm thinking, what if you're wanting to score goals and stamp your authority on a game? Why are you playing a player that is in the start of the season been markedly slower than she has in the past, been incredibly inefficient with her time? She's doing more defending than attacking, if anything.
Yeah.
And you can actually see the difference in the speediness of that right side with Alyssa Thompson, where it isn't that natural maturity that maybe Guro has, and there's just an imbalance there.
But they're just moments players. Like Alyssa Thompson will get you that drive along the wing and cross it in.
She got a goal that was ruled offside. Like, she can get in those spaces.
No, definitely. But it's again, nitty gritty games when you need someone. You're looking at this team. I actually think Guro is a player you actually have to you either give them the minutes or you don't. I'm sorry. Like, Guro Wrighton has such good chemistry with certain players in this Chelsea squad, but not. How many games has she played with Captain? How many games has she played with Alyssa Thompson?
Hamano as well.
Hamano. Beaver Jones didn't play that much last year.
This is a team that connection with her and Kerr, right, was something that was
built. It was built over time.
And I saw, comparisons with Viv and Beth in terms of like a combo of two players that can just score goals and create something out of nothing. Sam Kerr had a good 35 minutes in this game, 40 minutes in this game.
She looked a bit more fit. She actually looked hungry to get the ball, but they couldn't get it to her feet.
No.
And I actually felt bad because usually what happens in games with Sam is that she's the one overusing and having the ball too much and keeping it at her feet and trying to run the game around her. But the reality was that Twente just kind of doubled up on whoever the striker was. So Beaver Jones copped this as well early on in the game. Beaver had some a few strikes here and there that weren't bad, but again, Aggie Beaver Jones is this is a Champions League game. You're starting in the Champions League first.
With a younger team than you usually put out.
This is the younger youth crop players relying on Captain Thompson and Beaver Jones to get you over the line early. I understand it's Twente, but if you set 2 banks of 4, it's not easy to break down, especially Beaver Jones likes having the isolation to be able to break lines, get the ball played ahead of her. She's playing with her back to two centre halves, and there was no 10 in behind. Cuthbert and Walsh weren't really amassing any sort of pressure onto the defensive midfielders. They didn't overwhelm in any way that we know Chelsea could.
They benched Nuskin as well, which I still think there's something
she must
up
be
with
injured.
that. I don't know what's going on
be
there,
fully fit or something.
I think you look at the players who are on the bench and I go, okay, so we need a goal. We bring on Sam Kerr, right?
I don't mind that.
I don't mind it either because I've said if Sam Kerr's going to play,
do it, she's proven.
Well, if Sam Kerr's going to play, she's going to come off the bench and she's going to try to create something.
But who's she going to create? Who's going to create it for?
I think that the players that they took off don't lend themselves to the Sam Kerr type football that they need right now.
100%.
And then equally, I think that some of the mistakes that they're making in the back line, I think the kind of overcompensation that Ali Carpenter is having to make because Millie Bright has seemingly lost her legs and just lost her will to defend.
She made 2 or 3 recovery runs, Ellie Carpenter, to show her ability as a defensive fullback. Like, I actually think she had quite a stellar game at doing what we know she was doing for the Matildas, what she was doing for Lyon in pockets where she was forced to do dirty work.
Yeah, and she was doing the overlap offensively. She was coming and covering defensively. I've never said that Elliot Carpenter is not a baller. She is a tried and tested defender and fullback that is very secure.
More the old-timey, old-fashioned fullback.
Yeah, she's not technically gifted at all.
No.
She doesn't want the ball to her feet. She wants to be able to
play
just
ahead of the ball, expansive overlap run.
But I think that what this does is if we're getting these players to overwork early, they're just going to burn out. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen to Ellie Carpenter because she's incredibly athletic and fantastic with what she does off the ball. But you can't be relying on fullbacks like Sandy Baltimore and Ellie Carpenter to save your ass pretty much every time the ball is coming from a transition because your centre backs are too slow.
I couldn't agree more. And I think it's funny you were saying about Arsenal that there are players that are tired. There are players that look. They have the rotations to be able to do it, and your team does too. But you don't get away with the rotations, especially if they're inexperienced, especially if players like Walsh are getting the physical treatment. Millie Bright doesn't look the same physical specimen, and Titan. Mentally. Yeah, again, and it's not always down to how you're performing in the training ground.
Sure.
It's sometimes a refresher. It's sometimes a wake-up call. Rotating, having obviously they have a lot of injuries, and Ramirez will come back with a bit of maturity in that front half. You have players like Buchanan who will give Millie Bright or Bjorn a rest for a game or so, because I don't think Berman is the answer.
No.
But I just don't think she will ever be the answer for me. I don't think if they need to play her in a Champions League semi-final as cover, I just don't think that's what Sonia wants. But I
think to round up this game, Chelsea looked the most like Arsenal I've ever seen them.
I mean, the other games, there were some weird results. Like, I mean, there are some not weird results. So Juve 2-1 to Benfica was probably the most obvious result of all time.
Yeah,
I kind of just knew that Benfica would lose. I didn't think Silva would get a brace, but
I think I guess if Juve continue this run, they're a team to look at. But in the long term, I don't think any of these teams nor Paris.
No, definitely not. But shout out Clara Matteo just
for carrying this.
Yeah, just a
Paris
baller.
team.
She's so good. I really want her at a proper
She's not going anywhere. She's not going.
You think she'll just be a Paris legend?
Yeah, I guess
she
is 30, is she?
Yes, but I don't know. I want to squeeze out the orange juice of her career.
Get her to like Brighton or something.
Yeah. Oh my God. In that team, she'd be so good. She'd be the talisman. Yeah. Oh my God. I want my dreams to come true. I'll buy a Brighton Matteo kit if she's there. Real Madrid
just smacked Roma. Oh my God, Roma.
Every intuition we had about Roma.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly. I mean, Roma look like the most immature Italian team. You're Italian and you're letting a team get six
on you.
Is offensive.
It's pretty harsh. And this is a Real Madrid team that's in some serious form at the moment. Their front six, like in terms of
that's how you use rotation.
Yeah,
to me, that's how you use rotation.
You can mix and match that front six, especially with now. I think they've kind of learned how to use Caicedo not on the left if they need someone else. She gets into those deeper roles.
I don't think she's that fantastic centrally, but I do think that
not
she's
up front.
No,
but in the 10.
In
the 10, I'm actually
the creativity.
She's got the ability to find space with the ball, and her passes. Again, we've talked about this before. The maturity of her passing is only going to get better as she gets older. Again, I'm a loyalist. I want to see Real Madrid legends. I want us to build the next generation of legends. And if she stays there, she won't. But if she stayed there for 10 years, I'd love to see that. Good results for both Madrid sides because Atleti decided to make St. Pölten look like, I think a
lot of people, what I've been seeing online and from whoever's talking about Women's Champions League, not a lot of people talking about Atletico Madrid. And I think if you're watching Liga, you should be pretty aware of how good this team is.
This season. A little slip up in the league, which we'll get to later on. But
that was a rotated team.
It was a rotated
coming
team.
into this game now, and they just did exactly what
overwhelmed them. It was away day as well. Yeah. Sometimes it can be tough. Look at Chelsea. Yeah, you can easily fall victim to an away day opposition.
Liga FN no longer the Farmers League.
Oh my God, no, not at all. They are really.
They're the top three.
6-2, 6-0, 7-1.
It's incredible.
Mate, Spain is back. Spain is back. Now we can talk about VFL taking on a very wasteful PSG. We meme this PSG team every week.
Well, they deserve it.
It's so sad. But this time we're not really talking about Mary Earps, despite the fact that they caught 4 goals.
This was a team where the midfield and the defense were just completely not working, and then the forward line were just incapable.
Oh my God, how many chances did they have to put the ball past?
It's actually
Johannes?
You're watching this, and I feel like if I were a PSG fan, I just feel completely disheartened.
It's crazy.
That forward line, if you're looking at it on paper, you're going to get goals from this. They play with wing backs. You're expecting attacking football.
I want an edit of like heat waves, like by Glass Animals. Some nights I think about you and it's just Katoto scoring 35 goals for PSG.
That's
The amount of them having Martens at one point, like the generational talent that PSG have had.
And have wasted.
Yeah. Has been canged, has been taken away from them.
Sure.
It's just hard to watch when this game, if you look at the stats, even if you watch the game just optically, they had so many chances to make this a game. And obviously it's 4-0. There was 2 consolations right at the end. Yeah. But there were 2... I'd say Wolfsburg had about 6-7 chances for the game and got 2, and then knocked in the last 2 later on. And I think that's kind of what happened across this week, is that a few teams just folded later on in the game to cop an extra 1 or 2 goals. It makes it look a bit more optically like there are these titans coming through.
I think quickly on the United game, shout out to Tullis Joyce, 7 clean sheets in 10 games.
Man, she is making a serious contender for the keeper of the season in the WSL. She's copped 1 goal. Yeah. 1 goal this season.
I think with Tullis Joyce, we're seeing a keeper that has a pressure domestically and internationally. She's coming in for Mary Earps, who's pretty much a bona fide legend at Manchester United. Yeah. And then internationally is coming for Alyssa Naeher, who's a generational keeper once again for the United States. So she has a lot on her plate, and she's balancing them pretty perfectly.
It's not just her saves. It's not just her shot stopping. She's getting better with her feet. Exactly. She's commanding the box. So if you look at the corners that happened in the Chelsea game, that happened, I think there was only 1 in the Vålerenga, 1 or 2 in the Vålerenga game, but she's commanding her box. The defensive line, she is benefiting from the fact that this defensive line is so resolute. Like, for as much as I don't think United will mount any sort of product within either the league or the Champions League. I mean, their form right now is cooking, and I think Mark Skinner has coached this back 4: Riviere, Sandberg, Laetitia, and Jensen. This back 4 is looking to build something huge here.
I think he's making a lot of what seemingly look like individual players that I don't necessarily would put in any, team of the season if I just looked at their names, right?
I think Riviere's gonna be
but
a
I
question
think
too.
No, but I think with Maya Laetitia, the captain's armband has revolutionized her.
100%.
I mean, Serena Wiegman better be watching.
Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing precedent to see, like, at the end of the year, a team of the season. Well, like Hannah Hampton has so much PR, much. Everyone thinks she is the tippity top. She is the dog's bollocks when it comes to goalkeeping. Sure. I think Tullis Joyce is making a case. Obviously, Van Domselaar's up there, of course. There's no question about it. Ndosia definitely has a platform to be a player of up there in that team of the season rankings. But it's hard to look past Riviere and Tullis Joyce and even Laetitia, or just commanding that defense.
Even Janssen, and I'm not talking about her necessarily, her play, but just the way that she's bounced back from what was a really poor Netherlands performances with her in the Euros. Yeah,
and that's, it's
Skinner ball.
It's Skinner ball. Yeah. Skinner is doing it. He's Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
It's an interesting Champions League first week. There was Europa as well. Not really much to talk about. All I just want to say is Ellen Vangerheim come to City. She scored a hat-trick. 2.2. Yeah, she's just such a machine, just commanding goals. I know Europa League Cup. We'll talk about it more as we get further into that.
Well, I'm hoping to talk about it more when it comes to who are the teams who are going to qualify for the real Europa League next year. Where we're getting the Spanish, the Germans, the English.
Well, I can't wait till United is playing Europa League football. I can't wait. That's why we talk about them. That's it for European ball. We are now going to move around the grounds. So we're going to start in England as we always do. The first game of the week. So we're moving backwards in the week now. We don't have to work off the recency. Chelsea United, really weird game. 1-1 draw. We were both licking our lips at the end of this game. We were so happy.
Before the end of the week. This was a great way.
This was Saturday.
Yeah.
This feels like an eternity ago.
So for us, we wake up and we watch this game. We go about our day and then we watch at 9 p.m. our game, knowing in those hours in between
the two games,
we're thinking, wow, we have a great opportunity here, just because of what United and Chelsea.
Yeah, thank God for United making.
Do not finish that sentence. Yeah. Thank God for United.
No, you cut me off. Now we have a clip. Oh my God, you killed me. Thank God for United being able to make Chelsea look like crap, because I think they gave the blueprint for Twente.
Okay, that's a good point.
I think that bank of four, the two banks of four,
that's a great point.
And then the young, youthful players, the Sandbergs, and even I know Olme and Rolfo are these old players. They have speed and power on the ball that Walsh was just
Olme in the midfield was physically.
She makes it really difficult for that Chelsea midfield that we know can dominate games.
I'm happy for Rolfo when she's on the wing, inverting, coming out wide. She's a player that really knows the balance between coming inside and going on the outside. I think against that Chelsea team that was wanting to score, I think that they actively did want to score in this game, shock, coming off the last few weeks. But I think this Chelsea team, I think we're really stunted. I think that they were pretty shocked with how resolute this United team really came out of the blocks.
The second half was a lot better for Chelsea.
I think so. I think, we're watching a Chelsea team now, I think still kind of finding their feet with a new set of players that coming up against this United team have now faced Arsenal. They've done this to Arsenal now. They've done it to Chelsea. At some point, we're going to have to be able to break this team down, and I haven't seen anyone who can.
The gap is just closing.
Yeah.
You start to see teams put pressure. Like we talked about Villa and Arsenal last week. The gaps are slowly closing, and United is one of those teams that's trying to break into that big three. Sure. And I want to talk about this game in like waves. I feel like it was like waves. Like,
I think there was
you could 22-minute blocks. So if you split each half into two halves, the first half Chelsea kind of set the tone. That Captain goal, I don't think it's really Captain's goal. It's all Macario. Macario just takes JRK's really nice ball. That back heel is just sublime. And then basically Captain just passes the ball into the net. I mean, again, Taylor's choice. There's nothing you can do about that. That is the fact that they had to do that beautiful play to get the ball in the net that early on shows that United aren't someone to just walk all over. You have to play your most beautiful, progressive, like speedy football.
Yeah, you need to be fast. Yeah. And I think with Chelsea, they slowed down. I think that they had peaks and troughs, and those troughs really
did show. Yeah. They definitely did show. So Riviere takes that Tooney part, that terrible express, that try to play that hooking ball across. I don't know how Riviere keeps it in. Plays it to Laetitia, who tries to whip in this ball, who is also whipped in a shocker. Yeah. But it's even worse because Kira Walsh thinks she's playing for England. That's what I've said. She thinks she was playing for England, heads it straight to Ella too, and that is the classic Serena ball right there. And then Tooney heads it down to Sandberg, who hits this volley that I did not know she had in her locker.
I don't know. Well, if United is scoring, which they're not scoring many, but if they're scoring bangers.
They are scoring bangers, and they're getting it from unlikely heroes. Sandberg's had an amazing 2 weeks.
I think she's had an amazing season.
It's so crazy. Far. If we were to do a team of the season so far, there's a lot of United defenders and keepers, and it's so annoying because our teams can't defend. But I mean, we'll talk about one defender my team has that's definitely going to keep Riviere out of the team of the season. But Captain definitely should have scored because ABJ plays her in. Tallis Joyce makes another save. She made a few saves this game. Again, Chelsea did have a tough time in this game. They still created 19 shots, still had 8 chances.
The fact that so many were off target in comparison to their on target.
But again, it was a symptom for what we were about to see in the Twente game. They just don't have the firepower that they think they have. It's funny.
These games actually really do mirror what would go on to be the Champions League games. I think that's what's so interesting about the WSL. You'd think that these games would be tighter, that they'd show what teams can do in the league phase, and then the Champions League are more moments. Yeah. But I think that there's a real mirror there.
It's gonna be interesting when we're 6-7 weeks into the Champions League and you start seeing like second squads come out against your Brightons, your Villas, and they'll try and capitalize on those second squads. The second half, again, Chelsea did get better, but United were sharp. Again, it's that second wave, right? So that 75 to 85 minute, I don't think there's a team that's better than United at handling that like crunch time moment in a game. They were passing the ball around like it was. They were rondoing Chelsea, which is crazy, right? Because usually it's Kira Walsh starting the rondo and creating it. She was made to move left and right. She was completely didn't know where she was in that midfield mix, which is a crazy thing to say.
I think it's interesting because United are not the instigators of any sort of attacking football, but they're such good reactionaries. They're great at like really soaking up the pressure. They wait for the opposition.
Communicate so well.
They wait for the opposition to basically stamp their mark, and then the way that they react is second to none.
Yeah, I think of the teams so far this year, the teams that are downloading the other opposition's tactics the best. I feel like Skinner comes into these 45-minute halftime team talks and goes like, guys, what's happening out there? What do you actually think is going on? And the players just talk to each other, and the players are going, this is what we're going to do to nullify what's going on. They completely changed the game from second half. But then, Walsh has that weird, I don't know how Taylor's Choice kind of parries it off. It kind of looked like a slow shot, but Kira Walsh does that a lot. That little left in-swinger, low-driven shot. Taylor's Choice makes another save. Again, 1-1 draw. Couldn't be more happy in my life that these two teams have dropped points.
Well, you're happy
Thank
now.
God. I'm happy now, but again, that 7-hour build-up from this game to our game, which is what we're going to get into now, was if we win this game, we'll be second on the ladder.
And if we win this game, we'll just be happy.
You're in the title race, yeah. But now there's an argument to say, is your team in the title race still?
Currently, no. I haven't lost hope because I'm an optimist at heart.
You are an optimist when it comes to your team.
and I think that, you said it before. It's the team we're going to be seeing it in the middle part of the season, in the later stages of the season. Teams will have it to rotate. It's obvious. Will we see, the other teams capitulate? Possibly, but I don't like the fact that I'm having to bank on other teams' results.
Yeah, it is very sad.
Now.
Yeah, it's a very sad catch-up game. But I'm gonna start off this game. Obviously, we don't want to talk. We could talk about this game for a whole podcast. Yeah. This 3-2 Man City game, which anyone who watched this got the joys and brilliance of these little moments, mini moments in the game. And I can talk about every player individually and rank them all and do that. But I want to start with something that's kind of before the game. So an hour before the game, you see the lineup. I said on the last pod that Pryor shouldn't play. I said on the last pod that we need to put our experience on and we need to trust the AJ system. Yeah, that if we're gonna be able to mount any sort of attack against European champions, against league title challengers at this point in time before the game, we need to play our best 11 technically. Yeah. And AJ gave that to us. He actually did. So Jade Rose on. Again, she was on for the Chelsea game. She then didn't play, and we just played Pryor. And then she just didn't play until the League Cup. And then this game, she comes into the lineup, and I'm like, yes, AJ knows what squad he needs for the best game.
And he's secure.
And I just don't think Renee is... And maybe she had that one eye on the Lyon game, and I get that. But starting pullover over Marnham... forward back in the 11. How do you feel about you just don't... And Lottie Wubben-Moy... Geez, I really butchered her name. Just Wubben-Moy coming in for Katie Reid after Katie Reid's performances so far in the league so far. How do you just cop a third of your 11 just disappears for this big game?
Basically, there are two possibilities here. Either Renee is picking names out of a hat, or there's this greater scheme that she's trying to kind of move towards in terms of the earliest part of the season's experimentation. The mid to late part of the season is where we kind of shift into that. We take the handbrake off, if you will.
100%.
But from what I'm seeing right now, this is a complete butchering of a system and the players in such system. And I think it's completely unjustifiable. I think we can blame the players for some things. I'm getting so riled up. No, because...
It is unjustifiable. It's crazy.
We have players coming into this team that inarguably should be scoring goals. And it's not just should be scoring goals, should be doing the basics right. We're whipping in balls without players even set up for the cross. Yeah. We're building up play into space that is being already covered. The City saw what we were going to do 10 steps before we were going to do it. And it had to take 10 steps for us to do it anyway.
The speed at which you attack is so slow.
It's basically like you're doing a training drill, the ones where you have to get 10 passes before you attack. Yeah. That's basically how we're playing. Because the inability for direct football, because of the system, basically causing some sort of gap between what the final third product is and that build-up play is. There is a gap from where we're wanting to build up. Yeah, I'm getting so passionate.
No, I get you. It's frustrating because it's like you have a 1,000 piece puzzle, and you've got
We are
pieces
making
that
it
you're making
so
the wrong.
complex.
You're making the wrong picture.
We are making football. Football is not a difficult game.
No.
And I don't like this idea that we are complicating a system that should not be complex.
No.
We have players that can play very direct football.
Yeah.
It may not be the prettiest on the eye, right? We may like to tease the defense out of position and play beautiful through balls, and we can't do it. It's not necessarily because of the players, but it's because of the opposition.
Sometimes you just need to be a bit more pragmatic and control the game how you want on your terms.
We are not reacting to the fact that the teams that we are playing up against recognize how we want to play.
100%. You're predictable now.
I think that the teams that we're playing up against actually know us better than our own system.
It is crazy to say that, but I don't disagree.
I don't understand the momentum, the lack of impetus, the lack of drive. There is a real complacency here, and I'm getting frustrated to the point in which I'm thinking these players now truly believe either that they're so delusional going onto the pitch thinking that they're already 3 goals up, or there's like this mentality that Renee has built in to believe that they
mentality monsters.
No, it's not even mentality monsters. It's literally that they can really break down teams, thinking that they're just going to capitulate. City's not going to capitulate.
We're not a capitulating side, but it's even more than that. It's like we're looking for someone to blame. We're looking to go, oh, it's this individual player who's not sitting right. And I could sit here and say, well, Wubbenmoy hasn't played all year, and then she comes in for this big game, and that's fair, and that is a conversation about Renee's rotations, but the reality is that it's the brand, it's the culture in the way in which you're playing. You now have a label on you. When you're European champions, teams go after you a bit differently, and teams start to watch how you play. Your players are marked with the individual moments, what their signature moves. We benefit from the fact that there are a lot of players in our team that we haven't figured out yet, but there is a system at play that we're trying to do. So, for example, this is what I don't understand that Renee didn't see at all. We played, you knew an hour before the game that Grace Clinton was going to play on the left side. Sure. You knew that we were going to do exactly what we did against LCL, where our left side kind of just didn't do anything. Uabi's our only overlapping run, but she sits so that Caspi can run, and we'll talk about Caspi in a sec. But Grace Clinton meant that Emily Fox was going to have a field day.
Yep.
Yeah. It was going to be an easy job for her because Clinton is not a left winger. Yep. We had no Hempo, no Carolyn. Fujino was on the other side. Yeah. This is exactly what you want Fox to. This is exactly where you want a game like Fox to be isolated
every time she
and take
runs,
on the game.
Every time she runs, I scream at the television, "You're a gazelle!" Because she just runs.
Let her do it. But the way you were trying to feed the ball to McCabe, feed the left side because you didn't trust. You wanted Smith to have the ball driving up the right side. That's fine, but you can't isolate anyone, and you can't get exactly what you want because you knew we were just going to go through Viv, Fujino, and Caspi. Yeah. And luckily, our player of the month, City's player of the month, Lauren Blinkilder-Brown.
One of the standout midfielders.
Yeah, she's saved that left side, especially that left channel that we used to get broken down heaps. But we started... I actually think the first half, I know the first 10 minutes you guys had a few this barrage of chances, but we've never played... I don't think we've played this year that well.
No,
and the reason is because we don't have possession of the ball. No. When we get pressed, we genuinely look like we're afraid to have the ball. But when you guys have the ball and we're pressing, Bunny was pressing, Viv was pressing, Hasagawa second to the pass. Fujino looked quicker than she did last week, which is so weird. Clinton presses really, really well. For as much as she doesn't drift wide, she kind of sets up this ability to drift the ball to the right side because she inverts so much. And then what happens when she inverts is we feed the ball to our right side, which I'm going to argue is arguably the best right side in the league.
I think it's up there. I think honestly what you did with that right side, Arsenal could only dream about that directness and that impetus to drive.
And it starts with, again, you have the personnel to do it. I think Emily Fox could do what Kasparai does.
I think Emily Fox on paper is a better player than Kasparai.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could definitely argue that. Yeah. I'm not, because this girl is the best right back in the world right now. And the reason is because we were talking about Esme's ability to know when to move further up. Kasparai has got her decision making to a purple patch I've never seen in my life. She's just finding the overlaps with Fagino. Fagino absolutely makes McCabe look a mug in this 50-50, which is weird because a year ago that's McCabe's bread and butter to be in the duels.
I don't even think she makes her look a mug. I think that is a great example of just how complacent we are.
Normally she just makes the decision.
She smashes that. Fagino, she loses the ball.
Yeah.
She loses the ball.
Yeah.
McCabe is more concerned about Fagino, who's still running on, by the way, and actually enabling that gap between her and Kasparai to grow, so then Kasparai can run into the space. Caitlin Ford is ball watching.
Yeah, that was the worst part.
That was the worst part. Caitlin Ford, I said 2 pods ago, needs to start every game because of the fact that her maturity on that left side.
You think about the Champions League final, her running back. It's like you guys have lost the impetus.
We do not want to get up for the games that we think are going to be quote unquote easier than the big games. It's like we hit the highs of the best game.
You used to be that team. Every game is the big game, and we play the minutes. We don't play that. We don't play the games. We play the minutes. We play the seconds. You're sitting behind play, and you're letting the best form right back in the league. Riviere, Kasparai, whoever you want, whips the ball in. Bunny gets exactly where she wants to be. Header, 26th headed goal in the WSL.
And
I'm going to count every single one.
And our players are just looking as Bunny has already set herself up. Our players are having to react to a player in the box where it's a 2v1. Yeah. I mean, you're asking Lotta Wubben-Moy and Emily Fox to be able to cover one player. Even if it didn't get to Bunny, Grace Clinton was behind on that far post waiting for a tap in.
Yeah, so, it was. It's mental how open you guys looked, and then it showed 3 minutes later when Jade Rose, who by the way I'm telling you she will start by the end of this season. This is that offside goal where she absolutely flings the ball like Muppy Leon-esque, pings the ball from that half.
That's some real yank. That's some real yank ball there.
Yeah, like route one football. Plays it to Kasparai on the overlap. They get the ball in the net. Obviously, Kasparai's that marginally bit offside. But for a centre-back to be able to do that, it's going to come off. It's going to come off soon. And I think her ability on the ball is better than Pryor's. I think Pryor will build with experience. But you can see that Jade Rose is the more complete right-sided centre-half. It's going to be Rose and AG. And that's why I'm excited, that double. Then 46 minute... You guys kind of come off that first half angry. Renee must have given a serious team talk because...
Well, they got Win the Dog in probably.
When the dog came in and went, brought everyone. Woof everyone, woof. And Mariona woofed. Yeah. Jesus, what a strike.
And that's what you get when, first of all, you're cutting back for one and your players are set for the cross.
Yeah, 100%.
And also that's what you get when you want to actually play a little bit of attacking football. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get 10 passes before you can shoot.
You don't have to walk it in the net either. She smacked that from distance and put Yama on her feet. Yep. Like that's what you've got to do. You've got to catch people out with speed. Yep. And you've been lacking that speed. Benet comes on for Clinton, so that was obvious, right? Sure. So the left side wasn't doing anything. No. So then we switched for Gino and Benet, and then Benet goes to the right, and as soon as she went to the right, it was and it was early. So it wasn't Renee making the sub first and saying, this is how the game's going to go. No, this is AJ going... I'm going to decide how the narrative of this game is going to play out. Because straight away after this, Benet sets up this really nice play, strikes the ball, forces a great save from Van Domselaar to the corner. The corner gets that lucky scramble, terrible goal. But Bunny somehow, again, we cross the ball. Wubben-Moy, Smith, McCabe and Ford are all surrounding Bunny, and Bunny still wins that.
It's
And
terrible.
then Kasparai finishes off the goal to round up her own form of the moment because somehow that ball goes in the net. I don't really know how, but that was 2-1. Then Kelly comes on.
Then this is where I say...
We could talk about this for an hour.
Okay, so let me get it out of the way first. Yeah. Kelly and the shithousery... Keep it, please.
Good for football. Good for Woso. People are talking about it, and they want to talk about it.
She, for me, is a player that inarguably deserves the flowers that she's getting when it comes to just coming on and creating an impact. Right? I don't think she's a 90-minute player to any stretch.
But an impact player, moments player.
What she did for me as a fan was far greater than the impact that she had on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because
It's a good goal, but it's about what she does after the goal, what it meant to all.
She respects City. She does. It's not. This is not a disrespectful moment.
I felt disrespect, but in hindsight, I've now like grown up as a human being in the last 3 days.
That's good to know.
It's good for the game.
Yeah.
We need conversation. We need moments like this to happen. And look, I don't respect Chloe Kelly for the tackle on Layla later in the game.
I love it.
Do more of it. I don't respect it, but it needs to be in the game. We need characters. We need. It's not just players. It's not just robots. We need humans. Yeah. We need people who leave teams and are angry that they left and they've come back home. And she's so gassed to be able to come back to her old stomping ground and get that equalizer. And look, it was what, 70-something minutes in. You kind of just thought that you're going to script this game and
I think it's really funny.
I
think it's really funny because Chloe Kelly actually pretty much is a symbol of this Arsenal team. So she comes on and she has a moment of brilliance.
Yeah.
But the system still hampers her and the other subs to do their job. Because she didn't do
much after that.
No. So she takes it on that individuality that we want, that spark, that instant impact, right?
And the speed
right?
as well.
We got it. She took the risk, which I think we're very risk averse. We do not want to be
That's a risky strike to take that from outside the box. It was just a really nice strike.
Yama did her best Friesberger impersonation.
There's nothing you can do with that strike. I just think it was a really, really good goal. I was quite nervous once that was in. I kind of thought we'd lost our chance. If we drew this game, I kind of thought we weren't title challenging. And I kind of thought Arsenal would be, even though you're lower on the table, it's better for you to draw this game and save the point than us to. We've dropped 2 points at that point. That's the thing.
We hadn't lost.
Exactly. Sure. And I think you guys could make up that ground, whereas we can't. It's not as easy. Every game we don't take we take every game one at a time. Especially without Europe, it's a bit more difficult. We take these early games really, really seriously and. It showed because we got a full 90 from Bunny that I haven't seen. Like the amount of times there are like 40-minute patches where Bunny just full on ghosts in a game. But to come into this game, get to the 88th minute, Fujino plays that ball and then obviously, actually, everyone's talking about Fujino's ball to Bunny. No one's talking about Jade Rose's ball off balance to Fujino. If you watch that back, she breaks the line so well and like we always talk about how do we get the ball to our midfield? How do we create the speed in our attack? It was route one, but there was elegance to the route one. So she plays it to Fujino. Fujino plays it to Bunny. Bunny makes Catley and McCabe, puts them in a spliff. I don't know how she does that. Plays that ball over her, and then it falls to, my God, Iman Bene. Iman, emphasis on the Iman. She is my God. And she gets, it's actually not the best pass from Bunny. Wabben Moy gets her foot to there first. Yeah. But the 50-50 is lost. And this game was just a game of 50-50s. And we just kept winning them. And then Bene hits that ball, smashes it near post, makes Van Domselaar do the splits.
Which is, I don't know what we were doing there with Van Domselaar. She could have dived. I mean, I'm no goalkeeper. I'll never profess to be a... Thank you. I will never profess...
I'm so sorry.
That's nice. I will never profess to, basically midfield splain to a goalkeeper.
Yeah, my God.
But
it wasn't a great effort.
The minute that Bene got that cut to her and she I was like, game over.
Yeah, it is game.
At that point I had the Kelly shirt out on my table. I was ready for a little bit of something, a bit of spark, a bit of I thought, and we've done this before against your lot as well, one goal and then there's a second goal because we're yearning for more and I think that you guys just wanted it more.
I mean, I was in Sydney and I got a few weird looks in this Thai restaurant when I'm screaming, Bene and the Jets. Oh my God. I've never been so happy. And the way she celebrated with Bunny, going into her arms, it was almost like Oscar worthy. It was brilliant. AJ's reaction at the end of the game, really composed. I like that. It's not a marathon, not a sprint, right? And look, I can't ask for much more from Andre Yeglets. That's by far his biggest win, I think, in his career. Wow. I think you could argue. I have a song I have a song.
You have a song?
For Andre Eglerts, right? So I've made this over time, and I've waited for the right moment that I want to bring this in.
I mean,
so,
if it's a song, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Because
so-
at this point, you're doing better
yeah.
than
So
some.
this song is called Stockport Grove. This is a cover of Ladbroke Grove by AJ Tracy, and AJ is my AJ, right? So I thought I'd do this properly to end the saga of this beautiful moment where we're second in the league. Sure. We actually are title challengers for the first time since the Gaz era, but this ain't the same. And the reason this isn't the same is because, all right, I'm not Georgia Smith, by the way, so I can't sing properly, but I'll try. I'll try as hard as I can, but it's Andre runs the game, title race on, 'cause we won 3-2. Gaza and Nick ain't the same. No one sees my city like you do. Yo, it's the city reset. AJ Eggy live and direct. AG smash up, then crash up the deck. Iman Benne is live and direct. And again, it's the city reset. AJ Egler's live and direct. Viv gone smash up, then crash up the deck. It's Moonbeam Caspi live and direct, said Barney. Vibes in that. Brute like a 4-wheel drive in that. Aerial God, yeah, she thrives in that. With AJ Eggs as the guide in that. I said, Kelly, are you mad? Equalizer, then tap the badge. And Gaz no more, it's AJ to the core. You get less minutes in Rene Ball. Said City's midfield's insane. LBB, Sid Loman and Yui, it don't feel the same. Title race on, Sonia, we're coming for you. Thank you very much.
The rapping.
That is how I'm feeling right now. I am on top of the world. And that's because, I mean, we're not in the Champions League. So that's as good as it's going to be for this season.
I think, okay, to contrast that, because to end this, because this game has gone on long enough, to end this, we'll contrast this by my overall feelings on Arsenal. Yeah. And you sung. Yeah. I'm going to give you a philosophy quote.
Okay, go on.
So my good friend Friedrich Nietzsche
my God. Jeez, Nietzsche.
Once said in one of my favorite texts, Will of Power.
Of course, right now, you're definitely looking to it.
Yeah, basically, to those human beings who are of any concern to me, I wish suffering, desolation, sickness, ill treatment, indignities. I wish that they should not remain unfamiliar with profound self-contempt, the torture of self-mistrust, the wretchedness of the vanquished. I have no pity for them, because I wish them the only thing that can prove today whether one is worthy of anything or not, that one endures. Basically,
wow.
Team,
my God. Is that your lock screen?
Yeah, I love my team. I love my team through thick and thin. And if we are to win anything this season, and if it is because of the pain that we're enduring now.
Should I bring the microphone back? I'm just laid back. Do you know how many tears I just ate right then? Like we're coming into this pod. I am like sitting up. I'm having a great week. I'm about to run the Melbourne Marathon. Yep. I'm happy. Leggy's dying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Guys, oh my God. But terminal uniqueness.
Get the Taylor quote in
for all your Swifties out there.
If we are to have a good season, if this is the enduring that it has to be, we have to endure, and I've seen it before by hundreds of Arsenal teams in the past. Yeah. If we have to endure for a little bit, I'm willing to take that sacrifice for.
We're going to add a jar when any time Leggy says endure about Arsenal for the next season. It'll be interesting what we're enduring. We had to endure around the grounds. So let's move on. Let's move on to the rest of the WSL real quick. Yeah. West Ham Villa, stinky stink fest. Oh my God. Just sack Skinner. You did it to Potter. That's who it was.
Put it in the jar.
Yeah.
Go in the jar.
In the jar. The Menso jar. Sorry about that. Sack Skinner. Yeah. She needs to go. First half was stinky. 4 shots for the whole game. For the whole 45 minutes. That's just beautiful football. And then
no one wanted to win this game.
And then there was a set piece, corner set piece. Beautiful strike from who was it? I think it was Hansen.
Yeah, came back in the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
getting more minutes now.
Yeah, definitely. Hansen, Grant. They have some good streets won't forget ballers.
I think just a quick one. West Ham did actually win this morning against Brighton.
Yeah, in the league. Yeah, in the League Cup. I did see that.
So I'm a bit confused as to what their priorities are. What's going on? I think this game was pretty much. I feel like this was a a bit of a reaction to the fact that no one tuned into this game. I can pretty much tell you no one tuned into this game.
We were not watching. We watched this game after.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I can even tell you, even the die-hard Matildas fans who will, stick to
the Goz, the Harper Gorry content.
Yeah, they'll love it. No one watched this game because
she had one good strike. Gorry, later on,
it was a game practically of the Claret and Blues derby that is. Yeah. And inevitably very sour.
And when the winner plays Burnley. But yes, then we have to talk about Wilms's free kick.
Yeah,
the dead ball is not dead. No. The dead ball, this whole week was just set pieces and dead ball craziness. But that lash into the top corner was beautiful. Not as beautiful as the Instagram highlight.
I was just about to say, shout out to the WSL. Look, we love your content, right? Because it's great. Because it's like we went from no content to like all the content that no one needs.
And that's what we need, but not what everyone else needs, but what we need.
And like I Ben texts me like, who's this Wilms person? What's going on?
I didn't see this free kick.
I was like, Wilms, are you serious? Wolfsburg legend. But no, basically I'm like, this is Wilms. I haven't seen the clip through the one that I sent you, the Instagram reel.
Yeah, so Leggy sends me this reel. You just don't see the ball. You don't see the goal. You don't even see the strike. You don't see anything. But obviously, if you actually watch the goal, it's it's a good free kick. It's the best I've seen in a while. Yeah. It's sad that West Ham are relying on Katrina Gorry for strikes from the edge of the box.
Well, they can't rely on Mini Gorry, so they're relying on Katrina Gorry.
Another game that actually will be remembered because Tottenham Hotspur are ahead of Arsenal.
You can talk about this game.
This is crazy.
I don't want to talk about
Brighton,
this.
You have not done us any favours here. Vidicic, mate, Aussie go, what happened? Because when you played us, you pressed us to death, but you made Martin Hoball a thing. Martin Hoball is now a real thing.
This geezer, it's on the touchline, t-shirt and pants. Yeah. He thinks he's the second coming at this point.
And he should think he's the second coming. I don't like
Spurs is an institution right now, are succeeding far too much. I'm genuinely
more than your team.
It is concerning.
But again, it's a question of with Brighton, Fran Kirby was sick. Their natural leadership without her on the field is 22 and 23-year-olds or Arsenal rejects.
Rosa Kafaji proved to me why, she needs a stable...
She needs a 30-year-old.
Yeah, basically she needs a 30-year-old on the pitch. But more so, she can't take a game on. Her creativity limits her.
She's not a talisman. It's not the same.
And I think I genuinely think when you work her out in the 90 minutes... she's worked out for the rest of the game.
She's good when she comes on. Good impact player.
Yeah, from minute one, when you found her out, she won't impact you if you've got her on lock.
But I don't know if it was that. Like I want to agree with you, but I also think there are moments where Kafaji has taken the game by the scruff of her neck earlier in this season.
But I think
I know that is from coming on,
and it's later on in games. And I think she capitalizes off the fact that teams just lay off the midfield. When we're entering the 70th, 80th, 90th minute, teams are naturally forming lower blocks earlier. So she has more time on the ball. She operates in that centre midfield position, drifting wide. She can get on the ball more. She's not the fastest. She's technically very gifted, but that technical capability will only get you so far if you have time on the ball. Yeah. And Tottenham, for some unknown reason to me, or to some...
Well, I think it's Martin Hove.
I don't know what the hell he's done.
He's actually got managerial tactics that you can see visually as someone who's consuming their content now. Yeah. So like Jess Naz starts the game on the right. She makes this beautiful run and crosses it in, doesn't get the result she wants. But then 25 minutes in, they've swapped the wings. Yeah. Naz takes this wing on, plays this peach of a ball over to our best call of the year in Tanberg being the saviour of Tottenham. Did I think they'd be anywhere near here? No, I thought they'd be close to relegation. Samanen had a good game, locking down that midfield, had that good dead ball from 30 yards. Vinberg had the dead ball that got played to Koga. They probably should have had 2-0. They've got Martha Thomas, Olga Artinen, and Vinberg on the bench. The mixture of these veterans who know what to do in the WSL, like Martha Thomas, and then prolific young players, means they're going to be fighting for the spots. Like they're in that pack with Villa and Brighton, and they're ahead of them right now. We don't know how long this will last, whether it's temporary form or not, whether they get worked out at some point.
There's so much buy-in.
I can't wait for this North London derby.
This is going to be the first ever North London derby. I'm telling you,
the first time it's an actual derby. Yeah, it's not a North London exhibition.
Yeah, the first time both teams are genuinely going to be up for it. Arsenal, to the sense, I believe that they'll try play some form of football that is recognisable. And Tottenham, who is on now a run that they've been building up for 8 years.
They've never had before in my.
Do they have more wins do they have more wins already than they had even last year?
Probably close. It'd be close. They'd be at least more than half than they got last year. It's pretty impressive. LCL Liverpool, another stink fest, another game where there were 4 shots in the first half.
You want to talk about this game, and then I want to talk about the single moment that to me proves why the WSL is cooked.
and do this. And you say this moment. Which moment is it?
The penalty.
The penalty. Okay, and what is wrong with this
The
penalty?
fact that it's not a penalty.
It's not a penalty.
It's just not a penalty.
Yeah, I did say it is somehow a penalty, and I don't understand. What's a shame is that Linari actually takes the best penalty I've ever seen.
It is the most Italian centre half penalty
so
I've ever seen in
good.
my life.
She just wanted to break the bar, and it happened to go in, and it was a perfect bar and in pen. Like, that's exactly how I want every pen in the WSL to be taken.
This is not like people in the UK. I see a lot of this in the media. The officiating's a problem. The officiating's poor. To me, this is purely when we haven't trained the officials to deal with real game things that happen.
Yeah,
like there are 1v1s. Just because you see a player flip to the floor, it's not Humpty Dumpty. Like they get up, and it's not.
It's not.
Just because
it is not Humpty Dumpty.
Just because it's in the box doesn't mean you.
Wait for my Kang nursery rhymes coming soon.
Just because they don't necessarily have to react that fast, and this is where I hate to say it, VAR comes in. It has to.
It has to, and it's again. It's for the clear and obvious. It's not for the decisions that don't need to be made. It's for the decisions that are clear and obvious. And this one,
she was behind the ball. She could not see it. She simply saw that one player went down injured and reacted. It's
really bad. It's a really bad dive, and
it's not a dive.
It's not even a dive. It's just collide. Yeah. It's a collide, right? Yeah.
She kicked the keeper.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's so weird because Nikita Paris is on the floor for so long.
It just looks worse.
It just looked like she killed her, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyone who's seen that, you can comment for us. Like it's one where you can see why they've called it in terms of the obstruction from the goalie and the impeding of space, but
it's in the box. It's her area.
It's just sometimes, especially in like men. So the goalie gets so much more license to do that and be okay with taking out the player.
We've seen it throughout the WSL.
It's so weird the way they did that. But there are so many moments in this game that are so dumb,
and they have implications.
They all result in the fact that firstly, LCL put together a 90-minute performance for the first time. Congratulations! They didn't fall asleep at 60, but mainly it's because Rafaela Borgraf, this goalie, by the way, you're getting minutes from me. You're getting receipts, yeah? You played Aslani in. You played Gioro in. You are so lucky it was 1-0. My Jesus. You should never play for Germany ever. Like, my God. Izzy Goodwin, I don't know how she missed that shot.
No, I don't know either,
all you had was Jenna Clark in the goal. Just score and you hit the post. Corrales had some good moments. That was probably the best game I've seen her play.
I think Corrales, yes, but to me, the player of the match is easily Jana.
Oh, yeah, Jana Fernandez is, I mean, she usually is.
Oh, she's just the
crazy.
Best player.
It's crazy how
Go back home, Jana.
Yeah, they don't need you. But it would be nice to see you in a Barca kit in the future. But yeah, look, a weird game, a game that should never be watched by the eyes of humans. I don't know why we watch. Sometimes I'm watching Woso and I think, who am I doing this for?
I'm watching this game purely off the fact that I'm just watching Gareth Taylor and his hair.
I forgot. Leggy's gonna have a message for Gareth Taylor by the end of the year.
Look,
when he gets sacked after the next, I don't know, 3 losses that they cop, then Leggy can do a little obituary for him.
I may hate your football, but he's
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Leicester Everton, also another game, uneventful.
Just
first
another
half.
game, full stop.
Yeah, just another game. We could finish there, to be honest. But Vignola breaks the drought.
Oh my God,
yeah, she nearly went double. She nearly went 007 after the hat trick. But yes, Vignola takes the through ball from Kitagawa, the solo run. I don't really know how she ends up with the ball, but Swaby, you could have easily been come on the pod. My God, the way it megs her and then falls back to Vignola is like prime Barclays ball. But then Leicester gets the result for their effort. Nomi Mouchon, Tierney gives her the ball. No real right to score. Ruby Mace gets held off because, I mean, that's what she's kind of known for. And then the right side of the box to the near post beats both defenders, trickles its way through them. I think Ramsey should have done better. But again, Everton copping a goal, dropping points, not being the Everton we know they can be. But again, relying on Vignola for your only chances is
it's
tough.
Equally a great title race as it is a great relegation race.
It is a battle. It is definitely a battle at the bottom. Leicester are definitely doing better than I thought they would.
Yeah, they're picking up
little points, and that is a huge pickup right there. That is 1 point saved, 100%. We are done with the WSL. We're now going to... Vamos. There we go. You know the rules. Yeah. You know the drill.
I started it.
Yeah. We're just bringing in the Duolingo. Barcelona playing half of their second squad. Basically a bunch of children from La Masia
I want to talk about...
battered Eibar 4-0.
I want to talk about Seda Jordi.
Okay,
but first I want to talk about the kit that blinded me.
Oh my God. The orange. Oh my God. There's 11 traffic cones that were moving the fastest I've ever seen them.
And I have my experience in neon kits.
Yeah.
You know, Arsenal, the infamous 23, 24
that kit is
away for the
shocker.
men's is shocking.
Yeah.
I do have it though.
Which neon kits do you not have?
I have them all.
Yeah.
But Seda Jordi for me, I mean, a lot of comparisons to Alexia, you know, but
crazy.
But to me, I think, you know, it's a burden to compare such a fantastic player to a player that's just starting
Jordi.
now.
She's the first Sarah Jordi. Is it Clara? Clara
Clara Seda Jordi.
Clara. Yeah, she's a companion. Great finish. First goal for the club. Really good finish. Yeah. Then Lexi and Vicky team up for the second goal. Really nice. I mean, not really a great finish, but just a beautiful move.
CGH, I think, is having a really underrated season.
Yeah, Caro's never going to escape the allegations of a player that actually is the best underrated player of all time. I mean, obviously, you could hear our thoughts on how the 23-24 Ballon d'Or was just a straight up robbery, as much as I think Aitana can deserve whatever, win everything you want. Sure. The best player in the world is the best player in the world. And for me, 22 goals, 22 assists, and the way she plays, it was exactly like this goal, actually. The cut and smack from the from the corner, it was just... That is... When I picture Caro, when I tell anyone about Caro what she would do, it's set up on that right wing, cut inside, inevitability. You just know you're screwed. It doesn't matter if there's three goalies in the net. She'll put it in the bins. She'll put it in that bottom bins. A few rotations as well. Sydney Schertenlieb comes on. She takes that weird strike that falls to Salma. Salma gets another goal on the sheet. See, that's what she does. She just ends up with a consolation at the end of the game, and you're like, well, Salma didn't actually play that bad. She scored, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, this player's just not the same as the ones around. But a very, again, we say this every week, routine league win for Barca. And now I can actually kind of say it about Real Madrid, who are now putting together performance after performance.
We have a Real Madrid shirt just above you.
Yeah.
I do not own said shirt.
Yeah, this is a... Oh, actually, I didn't buy this shirt. This was a mystery box.
Bit of Ben and Leggy lore.
Yeah. I got this shirt 364 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, to the day. So it's spent a year in my house. I've worn it once. But and I'm someone who wears kits all the time. Because I don't really hulla Madrid anytime soon. But their chance creation, this last few weeks, they've gotten so much better. A free kick set piece, Brune hits the post. They intercept from their own half. Angadal, whether it's Toletti, Angadal, anyone in that midfield, sets up Caicedo's opener. That was the most Caicedo finish of all time. That low-driven left foot into that bottom left corner. Two players around her. Pressure. What pressure? 38th minute. Fella, header, another goal. Navarro actually gets 2 assists in this game.
I really rate this forward line.
Yeah,
I do.
It's crazy. They actually do that like Barca overlapping thing. It's just with like lower quality players, but it still works because they expand through the inside channels with their their fullbacks actually invert at the same time. It's not the same as Barca where Esme goes and then Ona goes. They just double up. Yeah. They just go like so hard into the inside, and that's what happened for the third goal, where Navarro just takes it from her own half, cuts into the middle, swings it over to Athenea, and then Athenea, a lot of super subs this week. Athenea puts it across the box, classic Athenea finish.
The player who hasn't really, kicked on this season.
Hasn't made her mark yet, but again, I think she's still trying to find what her role is in this season, because
she's one of the capitanos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's she was playing on the left side for 5 minutes, then the right side for 5 minutes. They haven't really worked that out. Atleti drops points, which is crazy because of the run they've been on. And then after the 6-0 as well. It's like, it's not like they're out of form. No. It's actually a game where you look at it, you kind of feel bad for them because they just smacked the goalie with shot after shot after shot. It was chance creation, like, of your average like Spanish La Liga Liga F Titan. Jensen hits the post early, a few weak headers, dangerous crosses, side netting strikes. You kind of knew a goal was coming, but you didn't know when.
Well, it was a subs,
it was 0-0. It was 0-0 for ages, and then you kind of just thought Atleti would pull away with this. But the 86th minute, Medina whips in her 800,000th cross, and then the sub. Queiroz heads it back across the box. I love when a forward does that. They can easily head the ball, try and go for goal. But I think we know now in Woso, unless you pop Irene, Wendy, Bunny. Don't header it unless you're 3 yards away. She heads it back across the box, and then it's another headed finish for Lorraine.
Well, this is Gio. I think this is Gio's first GA this season. Yeah. She's had a really slow season. That she's been put in the 9. I don't love it, but
no, she's not.
At least she's come on and had a bit of
done the job. And you thought it was kind of over, but shout out to Javi Lerga, the Bilbao manager. They go down the other end straight away, and his 2 subs, Agote, Amazaga, combine this cross, thumping header, another header. This is a huge, and like this was a header that one of those headers that like bounces before. It's kind of sad, and the goalie dives, Gallardo dives, and it's just not there, but saves the point. Alexi Fernandez plays this switch to Medina, has a chance to get a goal. It's like this weird Pina-esque cross that hits the bar. And they had a chance to win the match there, but they let it slip away. And look, this is the issue, right, in the Liga F, is that if you drop points, it's kind of game, set, match because Barca aren't going to drop points unless it's to the big throw.
I don't, at this point, it's not even Barca. Like, who cares? Like, Atleti should not be looking at Barca. It's the teams around.
It's Real. Real are looking better in form. You have, Atleti will come for it as well, but you have a situation where you're going to look at the Champions League spot. I think they'll, depending on this coefficient, how Atleti and Real do in the Champions League, they might have the top 3.
Sure.
And that would be comfortable for them. But if it's top 2, the Madrid teams are going to fight it out, and it's going to be an interesting look at this game. You might look back at this game and think there's 2 points gone missing there.
Yeah, but Real's already dropped points. I think at that point you're looking at Atleti just trying to hold
100%, and I mean, but they held very well, and they've saved 2 points, right? That's how you do it. We're gonna move to the Borns. Yeah. Guten Tag to the Borns. We'll do this as we love to do it because they just score goals on goals on goals. Yeah. Frankfurt beats Carl Zeiss. I think Carl Zeiss I feel bad for them because we mention them every week in a battering. Yeah. Anyomi had an amazing game.
I think this was her best game this season.
Yeah, she won 2 penalties this game. By the way, Sensa's first penalty, she does the little stutter step, cooks the keeper, and then puts it bottom bins post and in. The first pen is just bellissimo.
And it's hard to score. Sorry. It's hard to score too in the same game.
I think it's just her sense, you know.
Underrated baller.
Yeah, Carl Zeiss equalised with a nice move. Aussie, future Matilda in my opinion.
Okay.
Anna Margraf takes this ball down, plays it across to this girl, Jaron. Titan can't finish through the keeper. They get the equaliser.
Amount of Aussies now.
Yeah, weird in that. Rankin as well. Yeah, had a good game as well for Hoffenheim, but we won't get to that game. Illerstedt scores a goal, and by the way, not with her head.
It's actually a phenomenal...
crazy stuff. It's insane to say. It was a corner though. Yeah. It was a scramble corner goal.
Well, she's there. That's the thing.
Tough to concede, but inevitable when Frankfurt are attacking. And then again, Anyomi wins this penalty, and who sets up that penalty? It's Geraldine Rutler, and this is what she does. She just takes the ball, takes the game. She's like, I'm going to end this game. I'm going to run. I'm going to break the lines. I've never seen a player less afraid of a 1v1 in her life when she's on the wing. Sure. I know when she's on the 10, she kind of breaks those passes
that's where
around.
I like her.
Yeah, obviously, if she's playing in that, I think obviously she's due a move.
Yeah.
If she moves to a better side, she'll move more centrally. But on the wing, the isolated 1v1, she loves that. The pen is not as great. Keeper dives the right way, but brace for Sense, which is amazing. She's got a pen. So she's got 3 out of 3 pens for the week, Sense. Yeah. Freigang, Lerschen all scored. Yeah, just... one of the favourites, all eyes on Frankfurt, who winning when they can. Hammarby, Frankfurt, and Inter, I reckon, will be the Europa Cup. Like, they're the ones to watch.
Inter, really?
Well, they won 7-0. I know it was against
who was
traffic,
it against?
11 traffic cones. I actually don't know who it was. I can't remember. But but again, there'll be one to watch in that Europa Cup, especially to win that inaugural
Shout out to the Europa Cup for finally existing.
Yeah,
I mean, you weren't there for a second.
We need something to happen. It's nice. Wolfsburg, again, 29, I don't know how many goals. It's probably like 300, but it's 29 goals in 6 games or something like that.
Yeah, pretty mad, actually.
Game was over pretty much in 3 minutes as well.
Yeah, but most of the goals came in the second half.
Yeah, that's true. But the setup for Peter Moore's goal, they just press and press and press. And they knew they had Champo during the week. They did not care. No. They went for it. Bussy had a double. The Essen goalie and some of the defenders were making goal line clearances and they still won 8-0. Like, this is how many chances they had. Stina Johannes made a few good saves that, I mean, Essen were very unlucky to just not have anything out of this game. Kuva has a goal line clearance at the end of the game, but Minga scores a rebound, moves from Pop. The way Pop commands the attacking play,
but
she plays deeper, but she's telling Bussy, like, move in the middle, get out of my space because I'm going to play it across to you and give you an open net. And it's like the fact that she can do that in game is so much talent. Enderman scores 2 goals in 3 minutes.
I'm an Enderman believer. I've been calling for Enderman since the Enderman-Brandt debate of a few years back.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it will be interesting to see at the end of the year who has the better season. Soft pen for Beerenstein. She gets that. Zikai, header, again, goes through Sinderman, their goalie, or who I'm now going to call for Essen, Butterfingerman. Just really brutal game for her. They just killed them. 8-0 is just a real solid. And again, 11-0 in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Whatever, how many goals they got.
Well,
in the
it's 8, 11, and then 4.
4, yeah, just mental stuff.
Yeah.
They're on. And we said at the start of the year that this isn't the same VFL. They're coming to.
I think they're growing into.
They're trying to redeem. They're trying to redeem their.
Yeah, they heard us call them washed.
Yeah, their old school game, and like Minga, like they've got experience. They've got Minga, they've got Huth, they've got all these players that can do it.
I love Huth. She just walks up.
And they're going to mount a challenge to their current leaders in the table in Bayern. 4-0 win, obviously to make up for the 7-1 that was coming for them after this game. It was actually quite even in the first few minutes. Our GOAT, El Sharif. Shout out to Mariella El Sharif. Tough game today, but again, Werder Bremen copped it this whole game. Stanway whacks this ball to Caruso, who gets her first goal in Bayern colours. Great finish. Their second goal is crazy build-up. Stanway, Tanakawa, when you give them space, when they're not playing Barcelona, it's kind of just not. They play such scintillating football.
There is a difference in their play though when Oberdorf isn't playing.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. She is a bit of that. Like, she's just such a defensive, like, not just a defensive, like, resolute brick, but can just open up the game. She gets underrated with her ability on the ball, I think.
Tanakawa or Pernille Harder, who's going to have the better season?
Oh, that's so hard.
Because I'm really rooting for Tanakawa.
It's so harsh on Harder because Tanakawa is the player to watch. She had some really, really good moments.
Call the Ghostbusters for Pernille Harder.
They're giving Tanakawa more amazing opportunities,
She's
especially at the edge of the box, and she just creates these chances. Even if they're just these little passes, they're just routine stuff. She don't make mistakes.
But
really good.
I think Stanway is really kind of feeding off of the space that Tanakawa is kind of.
Stanway, Oberdorf, Tanakawa is at the 3. That's that midfield
I love that
3. Yeah, it's really nice. And then more of the same in the second half. Fast break. Schuller kind of comes into her own. Yeah. She sets up some stuff. Papai had our Werder Bremen goat had a chance. She should have scored. Bunyan came off her bunion from a really deep cross. Hard to latch onto, but still. And then Caruso's best move for Bayern. This was crazy, where she just makes Larissa Mulhouse look a mug, which is funny because it's like that rock, paper, scissors. Sure, yeah. Larissa Mulhouse is not a defender in her own right, but then she plays that near post cross to Leah Schuller, that is where you want her to be.
That's
and then
textbook
celebrates with the Rashford. When she's on, all in on that mindset. And that's kind of all we have for Germany. we say hello, bonjour.
We say hello.
Hello. I say hello to Kang because Kang doesn't speak French.
Okay.
We say hi to Kang as they won 8-1. They are just murdering sides. Lens actually not bad in the first half, but not great. Look, it took a minute for Vicky Besho to get on the sheet. Aerial god Hegerberg heads it to Chewinga to Besho.
This is notably their second squad.
Yeah. Oh, they had the eyes
Heavy
on Arsenal.
rotation.
Yeah, Vicky Besho's on the field. Definitely trying to get the youngsters. I actually think Vicky Besho has an important role to play. Okay. If they're going to win the Champions League, if they're going to go for it, which is ultimately the goal of Lyon. Lyon is going to win the domestic treble. They're going for the Champions League. And the reality is that if you're Vicky Besho, the other hat-trick player who's the 2 hat-tricks in this game from Vicky and Liana Joseph, you have a huge role to play in the league to make sure that you get your numbers up, you stay at Lyon, you up your market value by popping goals in when you can, right?
Well, Joseph, not so much.
Well, Joseph, it's a bit more difficult, but
in the terms of like she's maybe done for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, it's so harsh with the ACL, but even like Tarsian, I mean, you can't really up your market value when you're a $980,000.
No, but I think that these are the games where I think we didn't mention it earlier, but I mean the absolute nightmare blunt rotation that was Kang and Emma Hayes in the stands.
Yeah,
I think this is a game that for Lily Johannes. I think it's a great opportunity for her to really get minutes, get that connection with the forward and the back line. Yeah. I think, we saw her she came on against Arsenal. I still think that she has room to grow, but I think,
she's so young.
She's so young, but she's so motivated. I think she's a real embodiment of this Lyon team who are just relentless in their attack.
Yeah, and you saw Johannes. I mean, she sets up Besho's second goal. She gets that interception on Première, puts Chewinga 1-on-1. Just crazy. 2-0 in 10 minutes. Then they cop a goal. This goal is crazy, by the way. Lons, shout out to Lons.
Consolation goal.
This is the 1 in an 8-1. This is beautiful. And El Khmir, Moroccan international, takes Johannes on, rips her apart. They play a ball to Shirley Judy, De Mornay's partner in crime for Hasey. Hits an absolute worldie of a volley into the right side netting. Nothing Endler can do about it. 2-1. Game on. Jokes. Second half. The Rekang ball comes out. They came out like a Rekang ball and they scored 6. Liana Joseph had a hat-trick. So she came on in the 60th minute and had a hat-trick by 82, which is crazy. Shambles goal for the first one. The second goal, you just watch this clip of Diani, Katoto, Besho, De Mornay, and Joseph running at 10 players because they got a red card. And it's genuinely like the Resistance. Like, imagine just the Death Star blowing up Lons.
It's one of those slow motion scenes in a movie where you're like,
you're just like, it's and like Black Hawk Down, like Gotorza Run is playing, and you're
Battle
just like,
of the Bastards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just you're getting enveloped by this team. Like it's a joke. Salvai plays a long ball in. Besho taps in her hat trick. Ines Benyaya? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was quite lively, just ran a bit of the show, kind of giving a glimpse into the future without Lindsay Heaps and like that whole youth product that Lyon is building. Yeah. I'm surprised to not see Eula Brand start.
I don't know. Is she injured?
I don't know if she's fully fit, but
because she's not starting for one.
Yeah,
she's coming on later than I would expect. I think the Joseph, for example, in the Lyon Arsenal game, Joseph went down, and that was the impetus for Brand to come on. I don't know when / if she was going to come on in that game. I'm a bit disappointed because I thought that Brand would be kind of the big
cog. Yeah, I thought she was, because she was the marquee move, and I mean Engen was really good in both in the Arsenal game. She had moments in that game where she was really solid, but Nelage did her job in this game. You have a look at the third goal that Liana Joseph scores for her hat-trick. They try to whip a ball in to Diani. Diani tries to heads it down, and then the reactions from Liana Joseph. I mean, when she's back, I can't wait to see more of her, but she just schmizes the ball into the corners. It's crazy how hungry she is. And then Diani tries to find Katoto. They keep putting pressure on her, and De Mornay gets her classic left-footed across the box. Loves that.
Katoto not the best week.
Yeah, no, not the best week. Just not really finding goals, but again, she's kind of got that Bunny Shaw condition about her where when the ball's flying in the net, she's getting haddies. It'll happen. She hasn't had the best start to her Lyon campaign, but I think eventually once the fuse is lit, we're going to see a few hat tricks. We're going to see double-digit goals, maybe even double-digit assists the way she might set up Ada. But that's all I have for France. The Benchwarmers Awards. We don't need to explain this anymore. We've done it. If you've been here for 5 episodes, you know what we're doing. Never bench again. I'm doing it again. Iman Benet. Just play her. Just play her.
You don't think her worth is off the bench?
I want to see her on the field.
Okay,
I want to see if that worth can start games. Because when she played Brighton, she was doing beautiful things, right? Yeah. She can even lock down the right wing position. She can play in the middle. She can play just give her the CV. Just wherever you want to play her. If Hempo and Carolyn are out, stick Fujino on the left, put her on the right, get the youth going. I think she's going to make things happen. How about you?
For me, it's a game we didn't touch on in the previous segment, but Kachawi. Look, I thought I'd never say this
Why is she even benched
Sakina
anyway?
is basically the only reason why PSG are relevant, competitive.
Parisian god.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they want to reserve their already very small squad for the Champions League, but there is no way that you can bench Kachawi. She's the captain. Crazy. She's taken up now a midfield role, which means that she's instrumental in their build-up and their final third play. She comes on for a player who I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I love her, but I
call her Lukta.
Lukta? Sure. I mean, I've followed Lukta's career from when she was playing in the youth leagues of the Netherlands.
She's got angry face. She's always angry.
Sure, but she's an enigma of a footballer. I don't, sometimes she's on, and then
when she's on, she's crazy.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'm watching her, and I'm like,
the angry eyes.
I'm like, what are you a footballer? What's going on there? But no, but the minute she comes on, it's a complete 360 in play, and this is against a Dijon foot team that was pretty resilient and held on until Kachawi came on, and she wasn't the reason for the penalty, but she did score it.
Yeah, and she's the best. She's the one, and the thing is, she's a left back turned midfielder, and the fact that no strikers, no forwards taking the penalty, give it to Kachawi. She's the one, right? Yep. She's the first. She should be the first name on the team.
Never bench her again.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. It's a great call. Super sub of the week. I've switched it up this week. Yeah, I've gone super sub of the decade. I could have gone Liana Joseph coming on. The hat trick was crazy. Yeah. Could have gone De Mornay for her league performance coming on, doing good, amazing things. Could have gone Iman Benet as well. Could have just done Benet. Come on the pod, Benet, please. I want you on the pod. But I just went for Claudia Pina. Yeah. I'm gonna play the Pina card now. The Champions League performance is just immense. I think if we're going, when we get to 2029, 2030, and we go into, the decade review, I'm going to say, we're talking about super sub of the decade. Yeah. We're talking about Stina, because, I mean, Stina is substanious, but Claudia Pina off the bench is nearly kind of guaranteed goals.
It's the fact that it's not necessarily the impact that she has. It's not the chaos that Stina brings. It's not the experience. She's young still.
It's the fear. I'm so afraid when she comes on.
If there's a sub going up and I see Claudia Pina's number up, I am...
Mate, she's so dangerous. Yeah. It's so crazy. Her right foot would murder people. It's the scariest thing when she's at the edge of the box on that left channel. I'm so afraid. But who's your super sub?
Yeah, so I also went a little bit, wacky on this one. Yeah. It's a double super sub of the week.
Wow.
Chacon and Johnson from
Utah?
Mormon FC.
I'm sorry. Why did I even say Utah? What do we hear at this point? Yeah.
So at this point, they're down 2-0 to Chicago. Yeah. They come on near to the 80th minute, right? Leaving it pretty late. Yeah. They then score a goal each in a matter of 3 minutes from the 83rd to the 86th minute, saving a point.
Beautiful.
It's not going to mean anything. Both teams,
but it's saving a point.
Yeah, it's saving a point. It doesn't mean anything. But
I'm sure there's something in Mormonhood that's about saving the points no matter what.
Sure, the Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon. Yeah, the points of Mormon. Yeah. Unbelievable to be fair to come on from 2-0 down and doubling up. That's pretty good. The Come on the Pod, what you're all here for, the main award, who's had basically the stink of the week. Rafaela Borgraf I don't think I'm pronouncing your name right, but I don't care. I actually don't care. You can come on the pod. I will try and speak German, but this is more just a shout out to Liverpool, like a come on the pod of Liverpool.
The whole Liverpool club.
How does Menso Liverpool have amass Alisson and Salah and spend 500 million?
Well, we've talked about this.
No, but again, they don't cop anything for it. And emphasis on the cop, man.
Yeah.
They don't cop crap for this. And it's insane. Like, we talk about, Arsenal's investment, Chelsea, they invest so much. It's like, well, Liverpool are a titan of a football club and an institution, and they've got this goalie who's trying to feed the LCL points here. Like, come on.
Are you sure she's not an agent of Kang?
Oh my God, maybe it's maybe it's Board Kang. I don't know, but
she's playing three-dimensional chess, that one.
You can never walk alone. There you go. There's my come on the pod. How about you?
My come on the pod, it was
no agenda.
No agenda.
Nah. No,
of course, so, especially when it comes to a Chelsea player. I mean, I have all love for Chelsea.
Yeah, 100%.
No, this is Alyssa Thompson.
Oh
Look,
my God.
We're nearing.
Do we play the theme? Dun, 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 dun. Golden Eye.
Look, I know that 007 practically means nothing. It's just basically a meme at this point.
No, it means everything.
But it means everything to me.
Alyssa Bond.
Chelsea go and spend near $1 million or $1 million on a player who they're practically it's like they watched her highlight reel. They watched her highlight reel and went, this is a player who can run, she can apparently score goals, but she's done neither of any effect that actually is seeing Chelsea kind of reap the rewards of signing such a young quote unquote up and coming player. I think it's only fair to criticize her. I don't really care if she's 20 years old.
Did they sign the wrong Thompson?
No, they didn't. I think ship both.
Do they have Giselle? They asked for Alyssa, and Giselle is Alyssa's playing as Giselle. It's like a Freaky Friday.
No, I think this is a case where Kelly O'Hara spoke about it. There have been others who have spoken about it. American players who play American football should just stay in America. Like, at this point, let's
I want that on a shirt. American players who play American football should play Super Bowl.
Soccer.
Super Bowl.
You play soccer. You play soccer.
Yeah. And soccer is not football. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
That's what it is.
I don't know if Sonia wants to transplant some sort of yank ball onto this Chelsea team, but it's just not working.
The WSL, it's
she can prove me wrong though.
She's got a lot. Look, she's young, she's hungry. You can tell she's got something. It's just whether there's it's not just conversation, but it's converting. It's the numbers that's going to always be the question. But Alyssa, I think you'd be great chat on the pod, so I'm happy for you to come here. Alrighty. We have covered the awards. We've covered all around the grounds. We even did a little bit of a little NWSL bit there.
There's not much. Just a quick one. There were too many goals at the end of games.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna play 90 minutes, play 90 minutes, please. I'm not sitting there to watch the last few minutes of a game be the reason why I'm.
And especially when we have Champions League, Europa League, all these leagues to care about, and then we can't watch the NWSL all the time.
I cannot watch Bay FC. I don't care.
It's hard. We need to get to the playoffs, and then we'll start getting extra content. But we're back again, part 6, number 6 of what would Michelle Kang do? What would Kang do? Basically, we're going to take our time this week. Again, no history research, no improvisation required. It's just like a story, but it's more based on the recent developments that LCL have had. Their new training facility that Kang's going to build that will quote unquote rival that of a men's Premier League team. Ooh, wow, it's so amazing. But I thought, because she's building this, honestly, if you've seen any photos of this, hypothetical thing, it just either looks like your run-of-the-mill nursing home, which is what it will be, because that's the age of everyone there, or it looks like, those old-school TikToks of, 2045 and everything's flying around in those cars? That's what it looks like. It looks like such an AI concept building. Maybe it's a Call of Duty map one day. Maybe Kang of Duty comes into it. But we're not here to talk about Kang of Duty, although we'll stick around for what would Kang of Duty do.
War crimes brought to you by Kang.
Yeah, that will be sick. But that might be what would Kang do number 20.
Okay, sure.
We'll get there. But we're going to go through football architecture because I think stadiums play an important role, especially through history. And Kang is definitely responsible for all of architecture in football. Basically, this looks like a nursing home for geriatrics, but it makes you think whether if the big clubs had Kang investment, how would Kang do a stadium upgrade, right? So we can kind of do this section a bit more free flowing. If you want to do it, like if I give you a stadium and you want to say something little, or do you want me to just go through each one?
Well, I feel like, the first one, right? That's
so we've got Man City. We're talking about the Joey Stadium.
You go through the Pram Stadium.
Yeah, the Pram Stadium. So it's funny you say the Pram Stadium. So there is two options here that Kang would do in my head. So obviously a Joey Stadium for Kang is a lion, like is a cub. Like Joey's like a baby kangaroo, right? So a baby kangaroo. But it just turns into a lion cub stadium. Yeah, so she turned into a lion cub. But if we're talking about it from a development squad access, and she owns all these big teams, she could use City Stadium as an academy facility for youngsters. So it's a Joey Stadium. Yeah, like an actual youngster Joey Stadium. Yeah. So when they're old enough, they can move through what I'm going to describe soon, which is the Kang Stadium pathway, right? So she goes from team to team, but she could also just turn. Joey does like is a baby gear company. They do strollers and car seats and baby proofing. She can sell all that as merch. That's great, Kang merch, but also Kang curation. Academies know no bounds of age. If she wants baby ballers in the Joey, that's how it's going to be. It's young Joeys, mature age Joeys, and then the Joeys.
More players are having children during, their time.
Their tenures, yeah.
I mean, Lika Martins, maybe she never would have retired if she could have had her child.
Oh my God. Lika, I'm sorry you've been brought into this. But if we ever meet you, I hope that never comes up. But yeah, I was going to say the Joey Stadium becomes the Joey Stadium or the Lion Cub Stadium, however you want to rebrand it. But I feel like she'd use us as like a breeding ground. Classic breeding ground. Yeah. Then we've got Bayern.
Okay.
So the Bayern campus obviously is what they use.
Can we mention the infamous tweet that went out this week about the Allianz?
What about the Allianz?
So of course, Bayern fans are just distraught that they've lost 7-1, and one of their dear fans just nicely put in a way that's just so kind, basically goes, if Bayern are playing this way, they just shouldn't have access to the Allianz at all.
Brutal. Jesus.
They don't deserve the stadium.
But it's the occasion. I mean, the 7-1 is part of the occasion, but
and they're not even playing at the Allianz. They were playing at the Cruyff.
The Cruyff. Imagine if they had the reverse leg. Oh my God. But the Allianz is a beautiful stadium. But again, they do play at the Bayern campus. They do have a few games at the Allianz.
I love the Bayern campus. You can see the wine mums at the top.
All I think of is like the fact that they have the academy stadium. So I used to watch them all the time when Iran Kunda was there as well. So I'm very familiar with the Bayern campus. So I want Kang's not just about like football. It's about economics. It's about football economics. So she renames Bayern to buy and earn. So it's a buy and earn campus, right? So once they've matured through the Joey, they move to Bayern and they become it becomes a finance stadium. It's a school stadium where players earn and learn football and finance intertwine. So it's the campus.
So they all turn into like the worst like econ crypto.
Yeah, just they're all agents. They're all agents. Like it's football buy and earn, right? So I'm really excited for Munich's like stadium upgrade, and their economic output will be crazy from the campus, which is really cool. And then they move to Barcelona. So the Estadio de
So this is not the Spotify Camp Now.
No, this is
where that's already been capitalism.
No. The Spotify Kang Now is already there. The Kang is now, but this is the Joe Kang Cruyff Arena. Mesh Kang Club, really. It's more than a Kang. Yeah. It's your prime. You're moving to Barcelona to play your prime football. So you've done your Joey, you've done your maturing, you've done your earning, and now it's time for a prime. And you have three options. You have Barcelona's Estadio de Kang. You have Chelsea's Kang's Meadow, the Kingston upon Thames, right? So basically all their players are Kang-pilled already. So any Chelsea fan that thinks that they're not Kang-pilled
They have the worst owners.
You are basically Kang. You have Kangatrina McKangrio. You have Joe Kanga Ritting Kangaroo. You have Vika Kangtine, Me Kanga Hermano, Young Millie Bright. That's my favourite one.
Young Millie.
Yeah, Young Millie.
Young Millie.
Yeah, it's like a rapper. Yeah, Young Millie Bright. And then Kangdisha Buchanan, right? So there's so many players that are already Kang-pilled at Kang's Meadow.
Sure.
But your prime is either Barcelona, Chelsea, or obviously we have Lyon as well, which they already have Groupama Stadium. So anyone that doesn't know, Groupama actually stands for Group AMA, which means Group Age Mature Adult Stadium. So they've grown up, so they're at their mature age. But what Kang is missing is the finishing of the life cycle.
Okay.
So it's funny that we have to end with your stadium, right? So formerly Boreham Wood, Meadow Park, you don't play there anymore. I know you played there this morning. Yeah, I know you, but you kind of just play at the Emirates all year. Your home games are at the Emirates this year. Yeah. You've cemented Cron Kang Sports, have decided to put Kang on the map. You're going to the bigger stadium for more money. How can we make Arsenal Stadium fly better for Kang's needs, right? A question that we've always asked ourselves. You need a religious morgue. You just do, yeah? So somewhere for players to die off, and LCL's old folks home has treated them well. So obviously they've gone from Chelsea and Barca to LCL, and then they come to the Cemetemerates.
The Cemetemerates?
Or fly and die better with the Crematorium. That's how I see it.
So morbid, my team.
Nah, but don't worry. It's all done very ethically, and it's the promised land to end your career. No attitudes of irreverence. The Kang's generous Emirates is the preference for football degenerates to pass with honour and reverence.
That's fantastic.
So obviously that completes the Kang pathway. Youth Academy, Joey, move to the Bayern campus, get all the footy and financial education required. Move your prime into one of the three, Lyon Groupama, Kang's Meadow, Yo Kang Cruyff Arena, end up in the LCL old folks home, and then die better with Cremerates.
It's fantastic.
There you go. That is what Would Kang Do.
The life cycle is fantastic.
The life cycle is the way I see Kang owning the Big Six. Eventually. What when we were talking about, like, I did Kang go number 5 last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5. That's the famous 5. But yes.
I think you're getting too good at these that I'm genuinely scared that she's going to take up one of these.
I'm more scared. Not that she'll take them up, but that we might have one less podcast host.
Look, my dream
she'll know who we are eventually.
My dream is to have a defamation case against.
I can't wait.
Against Michelle Kang.
We have friends. We have friends that'll help us out with all our Kang
dilemmas.
Yeah,
Kang lemmas.
That is it, though. Yep. That's it for the pod. We ripped through a 2-hour
There was a lot
pod.
Of content.
Crazy content. Huge football. No UCL next week, so
and we don't miss anything.
Nah, so... we don't miss. Football is Kang, but we cover Kang.
Yeah.
We cover it all.
Yeah.
And we're here week in, week out. We're on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Am I missing
Instagram.
One? TikTok. It's TikTok. We're killing it. We love TikTok.
Yeah,
We're running out. All our short form content is there. Yeah. But if you listen to us for 2 hours and 8 minutes, you are a hero. We love you. Stick around for all your footy knowledge, and we will be here every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great week.